Hello everyone, I've got a couple more Arteza products that I want to share with you today. Now these came in the same pack as the watercolour pencils that I reviewed a couple of weeks ago. So if anybody is interested in seeing what my thoughts were on these and seeing a demonstration as well, I'll leave the link to the video in the description box below. Now these are their watercolour books and this particular pack here is 8.25 inches by 8.25 inches. I do believe they do a larger set as well as a smaller one. Now this is the set for watercolour techniques and mixed media. They also do sketchbooks as well, and I do believe the sketchbooks have got a grey cover, so they do have various options. Now the watercolour books have got 68 pages and they are cold press, dual-sided, acid free. So let me just show you what they look like once you've removed the label. As you can see, they've got an elastic closure, so that's what that looks like. That's the back and that's the front. Natural linen cover, which I think is absolutely lovely. On the inside front cover, you've got space to leave your details, and then on the inside back cover, you've got a plastic expandable pocket. So if you're using this for watercolour, you could perhaps put reference photos, and if you're using it for mixed media, maybe pieces of ephemera. You've also got a bookmark as well, red silk bookmark, which I think is a really nice touch. Now what they mean by dual-sided is that one side of the paper is textured, that's this side here, and the other side is smooth. But the nice thing is that they've put them as a double page spread, so both pages on each side are smooth here, and then if I flip it over, both pages here are the textured paper. You can see that it's a sewn in signature as well, which I think is really nice. That's what it looks like where the signatures meet. So let me just move that out of the way. I've reviewed these before, and in my opinion, the gap between the signatures was just too wide and looked untidy, and it does seem that Arteza have sorted that out, which I'm really pleased about. You know, these do fold nice and flat, so if you want to open them out and work on a double page spread, you know, they do lay flat, in my opinion. I think these are really nice books. Let's see how well these books hold up to wet media. I'm going to be doing a watercolour painting with gouache colours as opposed to watercolours. I just really like the look of gouache. I like the matte finish of it. So I've got ice blue, sky blue, Aegean blue, violet, olive green, seaweed and titanium white, and you can see that I've put a tiny bit into this palette here, so I'll move those off to the side. My page as well, I've got a piece of deli paper that I've put underneath. I'm just working towards the back of the book. I just chose a random page, to be honest. I've stuck some masking tape, which I've got rid of some of the sticky by just rubbing it on my sleeve as well, and I've wrapped that around the back. I'm also going to put another piece of deli paper here like this and tape that down with some masking tape as well, just because I don't want any of the excess gouache going on this page here. I want to keep that nice and clean, so again I'll just tape that down, and that can be peeled off afterwards. That allows me now to put my palette on top of the left hand side without having to worry about anything, so I'll just make sure that that's securely underneath. In fact, what I might do, because I've got this jaggedy edge here, let's just fold that over so that we've got a straighter edge to work with, because we might be able to tuck it further under. There we go, that's a bit better, isn't it? I'm going to be using an angled paintbrush. This is a 1 inch 2.54 centimetre paintbrush by Craft Smart, and I'm just going to dip it in water, and I'm going to start off with the lightest colour of gouache first. Add quite a bit of water, here we go, like this, and I'm just going to apply a wash over the background. I love the streakiness of gouache, and I'm just going to build up the colours. So I'm going light to dark, and it will look really messy to start off with until I get these layers going. And I can add some white as well to blend things together as well. and I'm just going to go backwards and forwards over my page, and I just want to see how much water this book can actually hold, whether it buckles my pages, and you know how it performs. I love the streakiness of that. I think that's lovely. Next, I'm going to, in fact, what I shall do is I want to add some more of the white as well, because I want to be able to mix some white probably with my green. So I'm just applying a bit more titanium white as well. So next we'll come in with some of the green. So I'm going to use the olive green to start off with, and we'll apply this to the base here, and I'm going to try and blend that up like so as well. So we'll just blend that up there like that. Then I can go in with the slightly darker colour. This is the seaweed green, is it? Is it called seaweed? Yes, seaweed. And again, we'll just add some of that, not too much. I can add some water if I've got too much. And again, we'll blend that up like so. Blend it out at the sides as well. And then I did want to add a bit of the violet as well into the skyline. Let's just tap some of that off. It's probably a bit more than I wanted, but what I can do is add some white just to try and lighten it. And I'm just going to have to play around with this until I've got a hair there. Let me just get rid of that because that's really annoying me. And I'm just going to play around with this until I get the look that I'm after. You see, I love it. I just think it looks absolutely lovely already. I've picked up some of that green as well. Bring some of the blue down into the bottom. I love how abstract that looks. I just think it's really pretty. Doesn't that look lovely? So I've just kept playing with my background and I like that look. It's really streaky and that's the effect that I'm going for. So I'm just going to leave that to dry. So that's now dry enough for me to work on, and I've put out some stone blue and a bit more of this seaweed as well. So I've got those two colours there like that, and I want to try and create myself some abstract stems. I'm going to start off with the, what was it called again? The stone blue, and I'm just going to create some lines like this. I could probably do with a bit more water. Let's try and flatten my brush as well. And I want them going in different directions. I'm going to use a thinner brush as well. So I've got this liner brush here, which I'm going to use, which will give me some thinner lines. So I'm just keeping going, just adding some thicker lines, undiluted at the bottom so that it's a bit darker. I love how matte the gouache is. It's just got a really nice matte finish, which really appeals to me. I can keep changing my paintbrushes as well to get different thicknesses of lines. And then just finally coming in with a layer of the green with a fine paintbrush. So my darker layer is on top. Now that's pretty much dry and I love the way that looks, but I've just got the urge to add a bit of white as well. So let's just wipe off most of our paint, and you see that just really brightens everything. I love that. So I'm just going to add a few of these as well. Now that's had time to dry, and what I want to do is apply some of the purple. So this is the violet. I love this colour, it's so rich. And I'm just going to tap on there like that and add some splatters. Now I've given that a quick blast with the heat tool, but I want to add some white to this. I want some slightly lighter ones as well. In fact, we'll have it in this palette here. So I've just added a bit of purple to the white to make sure that I've got that watered down, and we'll add some of those as well. So we're adding layers, and perhaps use our paintbrush as well just to splatter a few more on. You can see I've just kept going, adding more and more and more. I love how that looks. And now I want to add some white. So we'll add some white on top as well. Need a bit more water, not quite runny enough. Here we go. Just going to add a few of those on top, so really building up those lovely layers. It doesn't really get any more simple than this, but I just think this is so effective. This is one of my favourite techniques. I've just added a bit more of the purple to my palette, so that's thicken that up, and all I'm going to do now is just add a few abstract flowers. And the good thing is about gouache is it dries really quickly as well, so you really don't have to wait very long. Not too many, and then we can add some lighter ones as well. I've got some of the watered down violet here. I might add a bit more white to that as well. There we go. So we can mix our own colours. That's a really pretty colour. So we can add a few of these. Try not to overthink where they're going either. Here's my finished page. Now I'm really glad that I applied masking tape to the side and put the deli paper down, because I have got some bleed through, but you know, I did use quite a lot of water, so you know, I'm quite happy with that. There is a bit of warping as well, and I have weighted this down underneath a heavy book, but I just think these are great little journals, just for, you know, trying out new ideas and that kind of thing. And as I've said, they make wonderful gifts. You could do mixed media in this, you could sketch in these. I think they're quite versatile. Did anybody notice that I had used mine upside down? Can you believe it? My very first page in this journal, and I've done it upside down. For anyone who's interested in knowing what brush I used to draw my to paint my wildflowers, it was this one here. This is just a really cheap watercolour brush. You can see that I've wrecked it. The bristles are all splayed, but it's just absolutely perfect for painting wildflowers. And if I hold it up, you can see the jaggedy edges. I just think that's a really nice effect. So let's have a quick chat about the different types of Arteza watercolour papers. I did this one a couple of weeks ago using the Arteza Watercolour Pencils. This was done on the Arteza Expert Watercolour Pad. This is 300 GSM. I love this paper, and you know, if you're doing something for a card or something to frame, this would be my watercolour pad of choice. I've also tried the watercolour pencils on this paper here, and I didn't get anywhere near as good results as I did on the Expert Pad. They just didn't blend turned out as nicely. I've also done a similar painting here using acrylic paints, and you'll find links to all of these videos, including this one here as well, in the description box below. You can see that I've done a similar style of paintings as well, just to show you how the different medias perform. So this one here was done, as I say, with the Arteza acrylic paints, and this one was done on their, what's it called, their acrylic pad. And I don't know whether you can see here, this is really difficult to show on camera, but this is linen textured, and I must admit, when I reviewed the acrylic paints, I found that this took a bit of getting used to, but I love it. I just absolutely love the texture that you get using acrylics on this. If I hold this up, you can see that there's so much texture going on because of that linen paper. It's smooth on the other side as well, so if you don't like the linen, then you know, you can always use the smooth side as well, but you get a completely different look doing this style of painting using acrylic paints. So three very similar styles of paintings with three very different looks. As I say, the watercolor pencils, acrylic paints, and the gouache. I think by far my favorite has to be the gouache. Now gouache, just to go into this a bit further, is an opaque watercolor paint, so it reactivates with water, and if I went over this with water it would reactivate again, but it's so opaque, it's just absolutely beautiful for layering. This is the project that I did for the Arteza gouache review that I did, and again you'll find the link to this in the description box below. And for this one I decided to go with more of a folk art style, and you can see that the paints have just layered absolutely beautifully. I just love the very flat matte finish that you get with these. They're just absolutely beautiful, but you can see that you can watercolor with them as well and get different looks. So in my opinion, the gouache is just such a versatile product to work with. I just love the effect. I love the matte finish. This just really appeals to me. I hope the information that I've given you within this video was helpful, and for anybody who's interested in any of the products that I've shared, I'll leave a link to Arteza both in the EU and the US in the description box below. Arteza are offering a 10% discount as well for a limited time until the 22nd of August, I do believe. You'll find the coupon code in the description box below. I will say at this point that although the products have been provided to me by Arteza free of charge, the review and the opinions are my own, and I'm always genuine and honest as well. It is an affiliate link, which means that I get a very small commission if you decide to purchase via my links. But as I say, I just hope that this was helpful to you, and if you enjoyed the video, as always, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up, and let me know what you think in the comments below. So thanks for watching. Take care everyone, stay safe, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.